Hey there, my friends. This is Bill McDonald, the writing doctor and also the reading doctor. Welcome to the ELAR and Write Prescription. My email is up there on the right-hand portion in case you have a question and you're not watching this on Facebook. You can also message me if you are. My website is there. My Teachers Pay Teachers is pretty much the same words as my website. If you go to Teachers Pay Teachers and you type the right prescription, the way you see it there, then you'll be able to find me and get my products. And uh, when you buy something in a digital file, it'll tell you in there if it's also available in a hard copy. So if, for those of you who have to get vendor approval and all that kind of stuff, if Teachers Pay Teachers is already part of your thing, hey, go for it over there. So what we're going to work on today is one question. When I looked at all the 6th grade sample test items, I noticed that one of them was a paired passage, a paired a paired, let me see it this way, a pair, trying to make my hands work right, a paired passage, okay, where you had to, on a paired passage, usually say, what are all of the answers to the question about passage 1, and what are the answers to the passage about question 2. Then the hard part, the rigorous part, is what are a couple of questions about how the two passages or selections are similar, and what are two about how they're different. So I want to show you on a short answer question. That's what this one is. This will be for those of you who are doing CREST, parts 3, 4, and 5. And you'll be doing lesson number 10. It'll be from question 10 from your passage that we've been working on together. And it'll just be short answer, and there's multiple possibilities of ones that we can pick, and we'll take a look at that. Let me share my screen with you so you can see the question that we're going to go over. This is on my online practice test. So one thing is, yes, you can highlight as much as you want. I'm kind of worried that the highlighting is going to be limited. So in terms of color, so I'm going to use as much color as I can while I can. So let me read the question and some important keywords, and we'll highlight as we go. It says to read both selections to answer the following question. Okay. And then enter your answer in the box provided. That means it's an open-ended question. How is paragraph 4 in Yo Check It Out? That's the location and the title. Similar to paragraph 5 of When You're Bored, Invent a Board Game. Okay, so if that's the question, and you see here, they want the answer to the question, short answer question, whenever it has that second sentence, support your answer with evidence from the text. What they're basically saying is, hey, we don't just want the answer. You've got to, and this is the yellowest I could find, sorry, because it's a paired passage, they have to answer the question from both passages. So there was a question like this on the actual 2021 6th grade test, and only 53% got it correct with multiple choice. And so if you look at the 2021 test, question 24, It was category 1, readiness 6.5E. And so there's the passages. And as I mentioned in one of my earlier posts, because some kids don't have endurance, and they were pretty vague here. It just says how are they similar? So similar meaning same. What is one idea based on the evidence? So they said I've got to get it from both sections. So you can sit here highlighting things, but what I would recommend is assign two different teams and say, okay, team number one, you're going to be like crime scene investigators. You're going to be looking for clues. You're going to be looking for evidence with suspect number one. We'll call him paragraph 4 of Yo Check It Out. And another team will be the ones who will check out the clues and evidence from some suspect number 2, invent a board game. So there's lots of details, there's lots of evidence here, but what they want is what is the evidence that's similar across the passages? So that's where I spent a couple of days coming up with something that would help you help your students. And I really like it. And all of you who have purchased, I believe, uh, at least one or more of the Crest online recorded trainings have received a hard copy of my materials, and you received a set of monkeys, and the monkeys were in 6 colors. Let me show you those 6 colors so that you can see how to tie those 6 colored monkeys into the activity that I did. Uh, so we're going to call it forensic finger and footprints from paired passages. So taking something very rigorous, answering open-ended questions from a paired passage, because they did that on the 6th grade sample, and then making it a little simple by asking your students to only look at one or the other. So as you see here on the lower left and lower right hand portion, I have the one of each monkey. So when we divide a passage or a selection, it's going to be either in different sentences or stanzas, scenes, or if there are too many paragraphs, we can divide it into sections. And every time the main idea changes. So what I did for you, I did both ideas. And so you see here, think of Blue's Clues. We're going to be looking for clues, evidence in sentence form, stanzas, scenes, or section numbers. And so you can see the hands are for the fingerprints, the toes are for the footprints. And as you can see here, suspect number 1, the name of the first selection passage, suspect number 2, the name of the second one. When you're bored, you'll check it out, paragraph 4, and when you're bored, invent a board game, paragraph 5. There's the question in red, double checking how is paragraph 4 over here on this side, and you'll check it out, similar, green, how are they similar? So we'll connect with green lines. How are they different? We'll draw red lines to connect. So if one team only focuses on the fingerprints for one passage, then the other team, the other group, can focus on the footprints of the other passage. So there's all the monkeys that you have. So basically, you'll be dividing it up to 6 sections, stanzas, scenes, or sentences. Notice they all just happen to start with an S. So because of similar, we're going to use the word compare, like, similar, same. Okay. So what I did was I divided paragraph 4 into 6 sections that had different ideas, different concepts as we moved along. Chess is newer than checkers. It's from the 6th century to the 19th century. So they were just comparing chess to checkers. The first pieces were from John Calvert, 1790. He talked about the shape of the king, the queen, the bishop, and the tower, their different designs. He did those games from 1790 to 1841. So the dates, what he did with them, who it was, how new it is compared to checkers. So every time I felt like an idea was shifting, I moved it to a different fingerprint or footprint. Chess is more complicated opinion than checkers, but it's the #1 selling board game of all time. Okay. Purple. 3 million copies sold in US every year. Orange. The chess market is worth $40 million in the United States alone. So then some other team was saying, well, let's just check out the footprints for paragraph 5 of Invent a Board Game on your board. Monopoly, the focus. Translated into 47 languages, 114 countries. It was sold to Hasbro and has sold 275 million copies to date. Yellow, based on an average of about $5 a game, Monopoly would have grossed 1,375,000,000 so far. And as you know, the board games nowadays cost like $20, but what they had to do was kind of say, okay, overall the time since was created at the beginning, just based on $5 alone, that's how much money it would have earned. Green footprint. Scrabble and Monopoly are the #4 and #5 best-selling board games. Purple. Only chess, checkers, and backgammon have sold more copies in that order. So because they asked for same or similar, I looked for ideas that were similar, because you have to base your answer, red light, on the evidence, yellow light. So let's look at the fourth finger, that chess is more complicated. It's the #1 selling board game of all time. So it's based on sales. Well, how does that compare? Uh, well, the red footprint, Monopoly, has sold 275 million copies. What other thing is compared? That Scrabble and Monopoly are the #4 and 5 best-selling games. So I I could say that they sell a lot of copies. Both sets of games sell a lot of copies. Second connection. There's 3 million copies sold in the US every year, okay, of chess. Okay. On this game Monopoly, only chess, checkers, and backgammon have sold more copies in that order. So the chess and Scrabble, so as you can see here, chess, checkers, backgammon, Scrabble, and Monopoly are the 5 best-selling board games in that order. So you could talk about how popular, oh, the games are very popular. How do you know that they're popular? Well, if something sells that many copies, then it's very popular. And my last connection where I say, how are they the same? Green, that the chess market is worth $40 million in the US alone. That's value. And where did I move to? The yellow, that if Monopoly would have averaged just $5 a game, it would have been worth, it would have grossed in sales 1,375,000,000. So if you're trying to keep it simple, all you need is probably the easiest one. So you might say, let me just connect the dollar sales of one to the other, or the number of copies to the other one. Because if you have to connect more evidence, it's harder for your students to do that. So I'll just pick one and then we'll go from there. I would either say both paragraphs talk about how the games of chess and Monopoly have made a lot of money. Answer. My evidence, I would use fingerprint number 6 and footprint number 3. Another one that only has one connection here. The games were very popular. You can tell from both paragraphs, the games were very popular. That's something that's similar. Evidence, proof, clues. 3 million copies are sold every year in the US, connected to only chess, checkers, and backgammon have sold more copies than Monopoly. So if I look and see, I think this one's easier. How much money? So I'll connect 3 and 4. So I'll go back to my test and I'll type that in for you. Share the screen, the portion of the screen. I'll scroll down. For some reason my test moved. Hopefully this doesn't cause a problem for you guys to be able to see what I'm typing. All right, so I'm gonna go with the easy one, probably based on money. Okay. In both paragraphs, the games of chess and Monopoly, because the answer has to come from my head, have created lots of revenue or income for the creators. Okay, that's my answer. So then you say, okay, well, prove it. Well, here we go. Paragraph 4 in Yo Check It Out states that the chess market is worth $40 million in the United States alone. Now, because it says you have to answer, you have to give me evidence from both. In this case, we need an extra sentence. So we'll just kind of use the same. We'll tell the reader the location. Paragraph 5 in when your board invent a board game. Check my details that I put in my notes. Would have grossed around, big number, 1,375,000,000 is with 6 zeros, 0 zeros, comma, 0 0. Even if it only averaged, oops, you guys can see it, averaged about $5 per game. And keep in mind, the reason that we said that was because um, we had to base it on over all the years that Monopoly's been around. It's been different prices. So we do have our answer. Created lots of revenue. That's something that comes from your own head with your own ideas. And so when you think about the folder, the head has a brain with the word idea and the word ideas. So when you get a topic, when you get a question, you need an idea, which we have. And because they asked for both passages, we needed evidence from passage 1, paragraph 4, and passage 2, paragraph 5, about how they were the same. And so we gave you both the evidence, then you would just click next, and then we would go into um, the text entry. But just as you know, we've already done that one. So my next video is going to be the extended essay response. I hope you enjoyed that. Those of you who are in the Crest online training, I've given you a template PDF of the forensic finger and footprints from paired passages, as well as a PDF copy of the actual information that I went ahead and entered and put 6 sections for the clues and evidence for Yo Check It Out. And I have 5 footprints of clues and evidence for the When You're Bored, Check Out a Board Game. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed that. And message me if you have any questions. Email me if you would like a training at your campus or district. We're getting calls every day from people. Look forward to hearing from you soon. We can work with teachers on a work day or a Saturday, or we can work with students while teachers observe, so you don't have to have a substitute and you get to see the ideas modeled. So when you do, like I'm going to be doing several trainings, and that my next several trainings have a couple online next week for a couple of days in one district. And then I'm going to be going out of town. I'll be working with uh, students teachers on day 1 so that they can learn the ideas and the strategies, and then they see them modeled on the next day. Then the following week, we're going to be working with teachers on day 1 over by El Paso, and then we'll be working with some fourth graders on day 2 and some fifth graders on day 3. I think that's how we set it up, working on a combination of the reading, the writing, the constructed short answer, extended essay responses. And then if they need help on regular reading or on editing and revising, all of that is related in the 52 points that you can get in elementary, I believe 56 or 58 in middle school, and I think it's like 62 in high school. So take care. God bless. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day.